said this? Miss Nancy, where? On Confessions on TV3. Tonight is going to be an amazing night with my studio audience and, of course, my resource persons. Let's go into the confessions booth. I heard that this confession is about childbirth, and I am curious. Let's go in there and listen. We'll be back into the studio and make a great conversation out of this confession. My name is Miss Nancy. Confessions is brought to you by MTN, everywhere you go. He came with a whole lot of wise sayings and proverbs. That time waits for no man. That life is short to be waiting for people who do not want to go on the journey with you. And when a man starts speaking and with proverbs, he must have made up his mind. But yet he brought his story, his confession to us to make a conversation out of it so that he knows that he's on the right path or not. Tonight, I have with me in the confessions booth a gentleman with the wise sayings and the proverbs. My dear, you are welcome to Confessions.
Thank you, Ms. Nancy.
So you are here. Share your story, your confession with us.
Thank you. I am a 40-year-old man, happily married, with a 35-year-old lady.
Okay.
We've had a very good marriage up to this point, but there's been one nagging issue in our marriage that has been a thorn in our flesh. We've not been able to conceive a child. Over the period, we've had 5 consecutive miscarriages.
Hey,
It's not been easy.
sorry.
As a man, I've tried to have a discussion with my wife to look for other viable solutions to our problem.
Naturally.
One of them being adoption, another being surrogacy. But my wife is not open to any of these conversations.
Why?
I have no idea, Miss Nancy.
Oh,
And this has been bothering me. I am a man after all. I want to dispel my seed and have my lineage go on, one way or the other.
yeah.
Now here's the twist. An ex of mine is now in the picture. And after speaking with her, she's ready to be my surrogate mother.
Oh, she's just carrying, or she's going to donate her eggs as well?
She's carrying.
Just carrying.
Yes, please.
So where are you going to get the eggs, from your wife or from another?
At this point, Miss Nancy, I am willing for any solution at all. Whatever gets the job done. And I've tried to approach this topic with my wife, but she doesn't want to keep an open mind of any kind. She has shut down the whole situation completely. I am at a loss. Aside that, I need to get funds ready to fly my ex out to the US, where it is suitable for the procedure to be done.
Return.
Miss Nancy, my situation here is, I need to know whether I'm doing the right thing or not. This is my confession.
Whoa, a very interesting confession. He needs a child. His wife does as well. Just that she does not want to consider other options apart from her getting pregnant naturally and giving birth. So many other options are available, but she does not want to hear of it. The man is saying that I'm not going for another woman. I'm just going to take advantage of technology that is available to make me a father. Am I right or am I wrong? That's not exactly a sad confession. I'm super excited that he's not even done it. There are still good men around who it's not so bad. Let's go into the studio and have this conversation with my studio audience, of course, and my resource persons. This is Confessions on TV3. We are seated here in the studio. I'm always so joyful when the confession is not about sad stories. This is a confession, I tell you. It's not about the things that you have done only. It can also be about the things that you intend to do. That is still a confession. So long as you've thought about it, there is the possibility that you can execute it. And why you need to bring it to us here, so we help you do it or not do it. Tonight, the gentleman says he's thinking about it. This is it. After this conversation, he's moving on with or without his wife. And do you guys think that he's right? Did you hear the confession? Yeah. You did? Hey, Alafia. It's so good to have you.
Miss Nancy,
the one and only Mr. James Clark. Alafia, the guy says that the wife does not want surrogacy, does not want to adopt. Any other technical medical procedure with which they can have children, she does not want to hear of it. She is keeping her faith in God that she will get pregnant the natural way and give birth the natural way.
Thank you for the opportunity once again, Miss Nancy. From the reaction of the lady, I believe the lady is not coming straight with the gentleman. I think the lady has had a couple of abortions during her younger age, and she knows the problem. So sometimes people that normally relate to, let's follow the Bible, let's wait.
You feel they will be hiding behind other things?
Yes, through science, there are solutions.
Yeah.
The man has been able to provide 1 or 2 platforms, okay? Adoption and surrogation. Now, you, the lady, is insisting, God has put in this wisdom, knowledge in man. That is why we have science. And science can give us solution. Why are you still insisting? And you still want to be in the marriage? We are Africans. Our parents, other family members want to see if the man is potent enough.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a good one, isn't it? Yes, Esther, to you. It's good to have you back.
I'm glad to be back.
Awesome.
Glad to be back. So I want to raise 2 issues from his confession. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the woman's refusal to go for any of the options he's bringing on board. Now, when you asked him that, does he know the reason behind her refusal? He said he has no idea whatsoever. So that means there hasn't been any type of conversation concerning this topic. I get where Alafia is coming from, saying that there could be some past that she's trying to hide, but just maybe there's more to it. It's not really negative, but she's trying to find some level of difficulty in coming out. So I think he should be patient enough, sit her down, and get her to talk on why she's refusing to subscribe to any of the options.
Her faith. She's trusting God. Can't a woman trust God anymore?
Well, that could be one of the reasons, but personally, I feel like there's more to it. Again, I think there's something slightly fishy about the sudden reappearance of his girlfriend in times where he is looking for a surrogate mother or somebody to step in the picture. I think it's my thought, it's my opinion, you get it. So I think her sudden reappearance, there's a question mark somewhere. He shouldn't hastily jump into the opportunity that he has finally gotten someone to step in and save the day and probably give him the child he has been wanting for centuries. I just think that he should be patient and look into things.
Thank you. That's a good one. We would not take the wind out of the sail of our resource persons. Tonight, Lady Suzanne, a relationship and marriage counselor, is here with us again. Let us appreciate Lady Suzanne. Pretty woman by all standards. It's always good to have her. My lady, come around. Yeah. Yeah. Atia, how are you doing? Good to have you, please. So, joining us again is the great Offa Edumata. I'm always loving on him and the wisdom that he's always sharing on the show Confessions. Offa Edumata, you're welcome to Confessions tonight. Let him feel loved. Let him feel loved. Show him some love. Oh, yeah. Offa, thank you very much. Please have your seat. Thank you. Yes. Oh, So there is a man with wisdom from our sister country, Nigeria. When he comes on the show, this makes Confessions an international show, doesn't it? Oga Oguchuku Imwage. Let him feel love. Let him feel love. You see? It's only a Nigerian man that wear a kaftan and put a vest on it. Oh God, this is classy. I love this. And I love your gold details on your shirt too, Ofa.
Yes, that's one of my girls.
Oh, she makes it.
Yes, I taught her and
you did?
Yes.
And she's doing great.
Yeah.
I love it. Love to her. We
Gifty,
appreciate her.
thank you so much.
My lady, you look lovely too. The colors are so kind on your skin. People, tonight is not a sad confession. We have no reason to be sad. We're going to have a great time on the show. The lady is saying that she is still in her childbearing age at 35. She is trusting her God and her maker that she would have fruit of the womb in God's own time. Apparently, that time is not up yet. The man is 40 years and says, I need to serve a child. I need to be called father or daddy. I cannot wait any longer. Can we look for other options, technical options available to make you and I mommy and daddy? And she says she is trusting God. Abusiafo, this is the confession.
You know, when couples have to get together,
Yeah.
It's not only about the pre-counseling before the marriage.
Okay.
Even after the marriage, they still need to go through counseling.
Counseling.
Even if they are going through divorce, still you need to go through
counseling.
counseling.
So pre-counseling, during counseling, after counseling.
After counseling is very, very
Very
necessary.
important.
At this point, I think 8 years is a good number, but they have not done much, you know, so there's still more room for improvement. And I think counseling will help, you know. If
Do you think that the lady has a business? She has a right to say that, no, I don't want any other way than the natural way.
No, she doesn't.
You are a woman.
She doesn't.
You are a sister.
She
Talk to her
doesn't.
for us.
She doesn't. This is the two of them together. It cannot only be based on her decisions.
Please speak out louder.
It cannot be based only on her decisions.
Okay.
You know, so the two of them needs to sit together, have a counselor with them, you know, communicate with them, and then they come out with the best solution to this. The gentleman has to talk to the wife and explain things to her, because we cannot decide for them. They are two adults. At the end, they are supposed to
It's
decide
their
for
lives.
themselves. Yes.
We are making a show out of it,
Yes.
but for the reality, it is your life.
Yes. And
Thank
so,
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Alpha,
Let's ask
is this faith?
faith.
Do we get saved to be foolish?
You don't know what you're looking for. Sure. There's this principle, but it's actually God's rule when it comes to marriage. He says, leave. And the question is, what are you leaving? That excitement, that sweet things you were doing as an individual, leave. When leave what? You can't cleave.
Yeah.
So if you are not able to do the first one, the second won't work. And it is when you cleave, you become one.
Yeah.
Where is the line? A lot of people do not understand what marriage is about. They think that I'm beautiful. Everybody says I should come. No. Sure. The rules that are in there is tough. So I want the lady to understand the point of which the husband is coming from. And the husband should also take it cool to, as it were, nurture her and then make her understand why they are doing that. Again, I don't want the husband to think that it's all about babies. Yes, indeed, God gave baby.
Yeah.
But if you have not made up your mind and you have not sensitized yourself, pregnancy never.
Yeah.
If we are in bed, why are you holding? And then you, the man, if you're on me and you're thinking of other person, it won't work. These are some of the things, though.
Men should be physically and mentally, emotionally involved in the bedroom.
Exactly. Very, very important. Because that is your special communication tool. That is what bonds us together. It's what you know.
I even heard that for couples that do not enjoy orgasms together, that when they have intimacy, the man is always having an orgasm, the woman never does. They hardly are able to procreate.
Sure.
Oga, is that true?
Well, I have heard it, you know, but there's always another version to the story.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but I have heard it. But the beautiful thing about what you just said is that it makes the marriage more beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, and they connect better. It means they understand each other, even to that extent.
They are bonded.
Yes, they are bonded. You would notice, you know, when you go through the Old Testament, I'm not preaching, you know, but when you when you're going through the Old Testament, you will notice that the word that is used for sex is, they will say, and Isaac knew
Sarah, and they begat.
You see, and it's also, it tells me that there is something about how they were able to bond, that you were able to know your spouse well enough to bring her to that level. You know what turns her on, what turns him on, and the kind of things that you guys are supposed to do. You know, and so it makes the relationship beautiful.
So
and then
technically, if you are knowing your wife and she is still not getting up there, she's not getting the big O, you are not knowing her enough.
Something is missing.
You are a stranger in your own bedroom.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Know thy wife and cause her to begat.
Yes. That's a sharp one.
Oga, back to you.
Permit me to say something little, you know, concerning what Madam Susie and Wofa have said. When I was listening to him, what came to me is the fact that it also reflects how dysfunctional the family unit has become. You see, this is the African society. In the African society, marriage is not just about two people that have professed love to each other. It's about the union of families. These couples have been at it for 8 years.
8 years.
No support system, nobody to speak with, nobody to advise them, nobody to counsel them, no church, no elder, no parents, no uncle, nobody. And they are making these decisions themselves, about to break up. And the man has come to a point where he feels that 8 years is long enough. I want to make a decision. And the wife is not coming along. There's no convergence at that point. It's a reflection of the kind of marriage they are having and the kind of family they find themselves in, the kind of church that they are worshiping in, or mosque that they belong to, or something.
Whatever religion.
Whatever religion. But clearly, something is wrong with that union. Very wrong.
Do we call this an example of a woman who is not submissive? Because we say, traditionally, biblically, even with Islam, that the man is the head of the family. And there are times that we have to go with the decision of the man because he is leading the family. And the man is leading the family onto procreation with other options. And this woman is saying that, I am not going with you on that tangent. Is she not being...
Miss Nancy.
Yes, sir.
The woman doesn't understand what she's marrying. Look, if you understand what you're marrying, you will fight for it.
Yeah.
You will go for it. You will make sure it is well. Majority of us are all in marriage because we want to please ourselves.
Yeah. I'm of marriage age and I have to have a partner.
So what kind of expectation were you bringing on the table? It's not there. In fact, people come to me and I ask them, so why do you want to marry? Would you know? Would you know?
They have no reason.
They have no reason.
For the union they are going into.
And then I ask them, so what is your vision?
For this marriage.
Your vision and then the vision of
the man.
They don't have. We need to study, we need to understand what marriage is about. So what she's doing, I know about.
Thank you, thank you. To Ogu, if you have one.
Yes, so I don't want to hold brief for her, you know, but this is a woman that hopefully is expressing her faith. You know, she's saying, we are not that old. We haven't dragged for so long. It's just 8 years. We have a little more time. Let us try. It's important to find out why she's saying, I don't want to adopt and I don't want surrogacy. And you know one very interesting thing about surrogacy that a lot of people don't tell you, okay?
Tell us, sir.
Even when there's a contract in place, there is no law, there's no jurisprudence that is going to bring a woman that gives birth to a child to a point where you say the place of the child is not with you. And in many cases, we've had surrogate mothers come to a point where they become so attached to the baby that they can't let go. That's drama on the way.
Yes.
So it's possible that this is the reason the woman is saying,
Yeah.
I don't want to do this. You know, then about adoption. Some of the times you adopt and you go buy market. You know, so and if you buy market, you must carry on. You know, so there could be reasons the woman is saying, and now the guy has a good, you know, position. Or am I using the right phrase? But you know, he's making sense, as it were.
His intentions are good. But there are also the negative sides of his intentions.
Absolutely. So we need to sincerely find out why she's taking the position that she's taking. And that is why I was talking about the support system. If they had people that will speak with them, you know, and they are not doing popcorn or microwave, you know, relationship. When that person steps in, speaks with them, they will come to a point where they agree on something.
Alafia, please pass the microphone on to your gentleman behind you. Hi.
Hello, Miss Nancy.
It's always good to have you.
Good to see you too.
Is it a question or contribution? Please shoot.
Contribution, please.
Please.
Yes. I think this woman's story is something else, but the story didn't really open up to the lifestyle of the woman, so we don't really know her character well. But in the little that I know, I want to educate your audience as well. Miscarriages can come in various forms.
Okay.
One could be age factor. Miscarriages are very common in older women, especially women around 35, they're going. You are more common to have miscarriage. And also around that age, chromosomal disorders are very high. So if you're a woman who doesn't visit the hospital more often, you'll be facing that challenge. Also, we have the hereditary or genetic factors, whereby because the parents are having the disorder, they transfer it onto the child. So that particular child will also be facing that problem at the early stage of her life. And we also have a case whereby sleeping for pregnant women. If you are pregnant, mostly we advise that you sleep on your left side. People who normally sleep on the right or back normally are prone to face such problems. And we also have the urethral disorder. That one, you know, most people who indulge in abortion or uses this aphrodisiac drugs, people uses this emergency contraceptives. Contraceptions. And these ones, most of them, you're not supposed to take even 5 in a year. But these days, because of...
in a month.
So
every day she does it on plan, she throws it down.
Yes. So that one could also cause damage to the womb. And with the abortion too, sometimes when the abortion goes wrong and your womb is taken, you cannot have children. So at this point, this woman has no option than to accept the man's offer to go for the adoption or the surrogacy.
On Confessions, my studio audiences are knowledgeable. You're a nurse, are you not? Yes. Awesome. He brings so much knowledge. And so, girls, if you are the one throwing every emergency contraception pill down your throat, it is ahead of you. Whatever you are sowing, eventually, you will reap it. May God have mercy on you. Let's take this break. When I come back, we continue. You are welcome back. This is Confessions on TV3. My name is Miss Nancy. Tonight with me is Ofe Dumata. I have Lady Susan and I have Oguchuko Nwege. The name is so musical, isn't it? Yes, so we're having the conversation about the lady that says that she would wait until God's own time. She's not applying any technology. The Bible says that we were created in the image and likeness of God.
That's right.
So if God created us, it means he's given us the ability to create.
Sure.
Why are people having issues with following up on the creation of God with knowledge? Doctors were created by God. He's given them knowledge. At what point do we know that this is faith, and at what point do we say this is fully?
Mr. Nancy, you can easily draw the line. You can easily draw the line. When we talk about faith, what does that mean? When there is emptiness, but I still yearn or hope that it will come.
Yeah.
Foolishness, you saw the good thing, you didn't go for it.
Okay. So in this case, are we having faith or fully mixed with faith?
I can't split it.
It's a mixture.
I can't split it till we get to our gentleman who said that let's get somebody who is specialist to examine this lady as to her pluses and minuses. What is it that she has done? And then we can explain to the man.
Sometimes not what she's done. Sometimes it's just a medical condition.
Fantastic.
That stands in
Fantastic.
her way.
And so based on that, we will then be able to know where the problem is. She's not prepared to identify where the problem is. She's just okay as to, we don't do that. You don't do that.
Yeah.
But you see, you and your husband are supposed to be reasoning together.
Yeah.
It is the reasoning together that is of issue. Mr. Nancy, you always want to put your plate on table and serve your own food. What about me? What if I said I will eat that food? What would you do to tell me to eat the food? Because at the end of the day, we are supposed to understand each other. So the whole thing is about understanding.
Understanding.
If it's not there, Miss Nancy,
let us go out there and get some understanding. There are the technical people, the doctors, the gynecologists, and what have you. Let's go out there and have these conversations about miscarriages, the causes of them. Let's talk about adoption. Let us talk about surrogacy, what is actually involved in another human being carrying your egg and sperm, going through all the 9 months and bringing out a baby that is your flesh and blood.
I'm happy to have this opportunity again, as usual. I will never pass out an opportunity to provide some perspective or insight. So wanting a child is a huge challenge that's shared by both men and women because society basically defines you based on your ability to parent or to have a child. Now, that definitely pushes people to very far limits of desperation. And when they get desperate, they're looking for any solution possible, in most cases, to be sure that in the social eye, they are seen as worthy also. However, the key point from a psychological standpoint to note is whenever you are pushed into desperation, the part of your brain that you use in making logical reasoning or that you use to analyze things and think appropriately seems to be impaired. And that's what pushes you to become even more impulsive. Let me give you a perspective. There are times where perhaps you might jump because, you feel something walk over your leg. And you only look at it later and realize it was your shoelace. Now, your idea might have been that there was a snake or something like that walking over. That impulsive reaction where you jump back without noticing is because of a small device behind the back of your brain, which impairs your ability to logically analyze, look, and identify what's happening. And the same thing seems to happen to a lot of people when they are desperate. So desperation typically pushes people to make major life decisions when they are not equipped to do so. As psychologists, we always tell people when you're going through a very significant transition or a huge challenge, one of the things that you should never do is to make life decisions. For example, if you get out of a broken relationship and you want to jump into another or to suddenly leave the country and go somewhere else, we'll tell you that you are making a major life decision, and that might be based on impulse. It might be something you're doing to cope in the interim, but the long term, it becomes problematic for you. If our brother here goes on to engage in this act of surrogacy with his ex-partner, the impact it is going to have on the wife is something that you can never undermine. It's something that you consider as her womanhood being insulted, as that you're incapable. just because it's somebody that you have been in touch with once. Now, the question then to ask also is, how do we know that is an actual surrogacy and not something that has been schemed for the two people who perhaps have reconnected? And so that also brings or casts a lot of doubt and uncertainty. And then the other question becomes, so when this child is born, especially by a surrogate that you actually do know, what does parenting look like? I suppose these are questions that we have to answer before we can say anything about whether it's a or. So in many surrogacy scenarios, what happens is that they'll harvest the egg of a woman and then harvest the sperm of a man, and they'll fertilize it and then put it in another person's womb to carry the baby till it's full term. Now, that in itself comes with a lot of attachment, even to the person who is a surrogate. And so when I ask the questions about what happens after the child is born, especially with a surrogate that you actually do know and that you've had something with. Now, your partner, on the other hand, may start to also wonder and ask questions about, is this actually surrogacy, or it's my partner trying to have a child? And then basically give me a perspective that makes me feel like I am part of it. And that can be a huge insult to someone's womanhood. And that definitely has many mental health implications. So, Ms. Nancy, I always say this. Whenever you are faced with a significant decision, remember that in many instances, you're not even thinking straight, because you might be acting out of frustration, out of fear, or out of social pressures. And that always requires a step back and someone to basically objectively walk you through what happens. So I would say before any decision is made, it might require someone to walk them through the possible pros and cons of what this might do to the family, to the unborn child, and even to what the relationship is currently. Thank you.
Sis, we are the women here. Let's talk to the sister that has a husband who is making it difficult for her, unable to stay away from her just because she's pretty and she's warm. And the doctor is saying that this is a high-risk pregnancy. My husband, if I lay with him on the same bed, he will just want to do it. Are there other ways with which I can give my husband release and be fine, and my baby be fine too?
This is really serious. There are so many
You are
ways.
the woman.
Yes.
Your husband needs release. And release is release,
Yes,
right?
release is release.
And you cannot allow him to enter for release. So how are you going to do it? My sister, let's get creative in the bedroom.
We'll have to find a way. Because he also has to release.
Yes.
He also has to release, you know.
Oh, relax, relax. This is confessions. I don't know. You are telling me. I don't know anything, sister. Yes.
There are several ways to turn a man on, to turn a woman off. When the doctor says don't go inside, just listen. That's one aspect.
Okay.
And
decide that unko inside.
Unko inside.
What else can I do?
No falling in her. What's in her? What's in her?
Hey!
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? These are the things you are talking about.
Offa, let's be careful these days with the achievement you just said.
I ain't a chill.
I get it. I get it. So
you know that there are several options that we can all. It's all about your mindset. I keep saying it. It's all about your mindset. Sex is not a wedding. Sex is not makushia. Sex is not. No, it's about your mindset.
Some people go into the bedroom as if it is a competition where they have to win, and they die in the process.
And that concludes me. Marriage is not about competition. Marriage is about complementing.
Yeah.
At the time, the enemy fair, enemy pay. If you cannot put yourself in that posture, you won't get it right.
You will not. You will not.
You won't get it right.
Sis, are you ready to give the sisters the tips now?
Go ahead.
As he said, there's so many ways to.
Give me 3 of them.
Communication.
Number 1.
No, you need to communicate with him.
Yes, we have established the talking. Number 2, we are in their bedroom.
a
Your husband needs release.
Yes.
You cannot give it to him that way.
Find a romantic way with how you talk to him, and you know.
When you talk to him, he can release.
You find a way.
With your pretty
there are
face,
so many
people
styles.
can actually.
There are so many styles to do. You can do it.
This is educational. Feel free, my dear.
There are so many styles too.
The sister is saying that there are so many other styles with which you can give your husband release.
Yes.
But she's not going to say it on national television. When you meet her at church or any other place for counseling, she'll give you all the full details. Hey, sister, you are mean with your information.
I'm not.
You don't want us to know what you've been doing there.
I'm not, but basically, they need to come to an understanding.
Yeah.
It's all about communication.
Yeah.
When they talk, they will find a way because they love each other. The feelings is there, you know. So they have to communicate, and then I think with that way they'll find a solution because there's so many ways to make the man, you know, release himself.
Okay,
So many ways.
I'm your woman.
Yes.
I'm currently pregnant. My doctor says it's high risk. I cannot do contrôle, left Y, and all the styles that you know that gives you pleasure.
Yes.
You still want a release.
Yes.
At this point, what would you expect from me?
Okay. So the first thing I would recommend, okay, is that the couple either go to see the doctor together, okay, or receive orientation. There are some men and some women, okay, that cannot define sex outside penetration. If there's no penetration, there's no sex. Every other thing in a preamble, you never start.
Can you talk to them?
You know,
that
so-
beyond penetration, there can actually be sex.
Yes, sex goes far beyond penetration. Penetration is actually a very small aspect of sex.
Of sex.
And research has also shown that a lot of women do not orgasm through penetration.
Yeah. Sisters, am I wrong?
You know, yes.
Sisters are quiet. Sisters are virgins. Hey!
You know, so yeah, well. And for men, you know, we say, you know, that we're like the light switch and things like that. But what a lot of women do not understand is that first ejaculation is actually not the orgasm for the man. A lot of women don't understand that. Yeah. So many men also do not go through the journey.
The process.
The process.
It's just quick for them.
Yes.
They're in a hurry to let go. When the whole journey is a sweet,
yes,
wonderful,
yes,
breathtaking.
So what it means is that when the woman and the man understand what orgasm means, and you get this kind of information from your doctor, the man is not worried because he knows that penetration is not it.
Yes.
I'm still going to be able to get there.
Yes.
And that's why, you know, it's important that they are able to work together and know each other. You know, I mean, it's important for couples. And so when the man, you know, hears that, first, don't come back and say, this is what the doctor said. Maybe it would be good for the man to hear it from the doctor so that the man goes, so doc, what do I do? You know, then the doctor will make recommendations and tell them, you know, now go inside. We're going to manage yourself.
No, Oga, let's be honest here. So for the men that are not updated, listen, if we're in 2024 and you still think that sex is only penetration, my dear, you are outdated. My dear, you are out of vogue in the bedroom. Yes. You don't know what is going on. Let's take this break. When I come back, we continue. All right, so the studio audience, it's quite exciting here, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, my lady in pink, you have a question or contribution?
Yes, good evening, Ms.
Good evening,
Nancy.
darling.
I think relationship can be very complicated when faced with challenges like infertility. Yeah. So I think the lady, when she started getting her miscarriages, I think she should have spoken to her mother so that her mother would give her some options aside she saying she's depending on God and all that. Yeah. So that when her husband tells her, no, so that when her husband told her about the options and all that, she would like admit to it that because her mother has already told her something aside what her husband is also saying. So open communication and then empathy is very
Thank
the
you.
key.
Thank you. Please pass the microphone to the fine gentleman.
Thank you, Ms. Nancy, for the opportunity. I think counselors have something that resonates with me. One thing I think we have to understand about marriage is about choice. Do you understand? Before you can accept a person in your life, nobody will force you. You go in for the person.
Yeah.
Now, in order for one to understand the fact that I want to live with this person for the rest of my life, it is a choice that you are making. So now, if you made that choice by living with someone over the rest of your life, I think one thing that we need to have it in mind, or we need to understand, is that marriage is not what we see on telly. Or marriage is not what society, showcase to us in reality.
Project in movies and sitcoms.
Have this whole thing. Marriage goes beyond what our physical eyes can see.
Yeah.
Marriage is built on faith. So if I choose to live my life with someone, meaning me choosing to live with that person, I am ready to face everything that is going to happen in that marriage. But most of the times, we let our lacks to deceive us. Do you understand? Because the moment that we realize that, a queer has big boobs,
the physicals take the upper hand
exactly
than every other thing.
We let that thing to, swallowed up something that we are not, and I said something that we are not, let me put it this for us to understand. I saw her, I want to marry her. My mom has comforted me, Kwame, are you sure you want to live the rest of your life with Mansa? Oh, mommy, Auntie said she will be a good woman for me. Now, the moment that thing happens in your choice of making marriage, you make a mistake.
Because other people have made a choice for you.
Other people has done that for you.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much. Any other? Okay, lady in yellow.
Thank you very
Yes, it's good.
Miss Nancy, thank you very much for the opportunity. Yeah, so they've been married for 8 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's say they entered a marriage with, like, they were hopeful before they entered the marriage. Oh, by year 1, year 2, we have almost our first child. By year 5, we are done giving birth. By 30 or 32, we are done. But situations present themselves in different ways in life. Life is not straightforward.
It isn't.
Yeah. Different things can happen. So the lady should just take heart and then try and see what she can do to then improve the situation. She shouldn't just be a no-no. She shouldn't be a naysayer. She just see what she can do to just help themselves in the mind, because she shouldn't try to be selfish in any way. She's just being selfish. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. We're wrapping up the show, guys. Gentlemen, please. Question. I'm not taking a question. We're wrapping it up.
All right. So let me make this
contribution, please. Thank you.
I think to bring in your S is like trying to say that you are heading for divorce, because that's a no-go area.
Yeah.
She comes in, everything will collapse. It's just a matter of time.
Thank you. The X factor should be in the past, not currently. We're wrapping up the show. Lady in chair, and then to the gentleman. Oh, if you want to be the first.
Yeah, okay. I go. Ms. Nancy.
Go.
Marriage is not seen. Marriage is unseen.
Yeah.
It is when I want to see the unseen, that is my marriage. So they say it's a mystery.
It is.
Do you know you can act and I go like, is that Miss Nancy? It's a mystery.
Yeah.
So there's always a need for you to unruffle the mystery. And then you don't jump into conclusions.
Not at all.
And preclude your own thought. So we need to understand that, look, for me to unravel the mysteries, I should be able to understand the tangibles and then the intangibles. Just like Osofo is saying, all right? Calling me, texting me, doing that, it's intangible. Umoka.
Yet priceless.
Yes. Umoka.
Yeah.
But it's not about the food. It's not about washing my things or doing the things that everybody can see you're doing. Then you go like, I've been giving you food, you don't love me. No.
Pay attention to the things that other people don't see too.
Exactly.
Thank you, Afa. My lady.
Yes, Nancy. Well, what I would say is that at times in relationships, whether marriage or boyfriend, girlfriend, communication is number one. With communication, effectively, everything will be talked through, and then you find a solution to it. So that is what I have to say. Thank you very much.
Lady Susan is a typical example of a lady seen and not heard. She speaks very little, but indeed, she was seen on the show. Oga?
Yes, I'll just like to say to my friend that if you've done everything and she still appears stubborn, it is possible that she's also feeling insecure. Okay, she fears that this is her being on her way to lose everything or to losing everything. Assure her that you'll still be in her life. Assure her that you two will walk this road together. Assure her that whatever outcome there is, you two will remain the way you've always been, and that you'll be a beautiful couple always.
I know of couples that went the natural way, waited for God, and God heard them eventually after many, many years. I know of a couple that waited on God and added technology, and God heard them. I know of couples that waited on God, added technology, and nothing still happened. Thus is life. It's unfair. It may be good to you, but when there are opportunities for you to turn your lot around and make it better, take it and run with it. This is Confessions on TV3. My name is Miss Nancy. Confessions is brought to you by MTN. Everywhere you go, same time next week, God willing, we come back to you.